In an interview, the easiest way to tell a story is to use the STAR model. What was the situation? What was the task? What action did you take? And what results did you achieve? If you stick to this, you won't go too far wrong, as it keeps you focused and on track. The main thing is that you keep it clear and concise. If you use lots of jargon and cram in lots of irrelevant points into your examples, interviewers will lose attention. I also really like it when candidates talk about what they learn and what they'll do differently next time in their examples too, as this shows high levels of maturity, self-reflection and a desire to learn and get better, particularly as none of us are perfect.
I think the key to telling a compelling story is structure. For example, if you're describing an experience in an interview type setting, use the STAR approach. First describing the situation, then the task, action, result, and then reflection. This structure should allow you to take your listener on a compelling journey, which is clear and easy to follow, and something that they will remember. Be sure also to make it relatable and personal in order to establish an emotional connection with the listener. And remember, everyone loves an underdog, so be sure to emphasise any challenges that you faced and how you overcame them.
Having a start, a middle and an end is important. I think making it relevant is important. I mean, you could have a very well designed and developed story, but actually if it's no relevance to me, they're not interesting. And then making it memorable.
Whether you're telling your friends something funny or delivering an important presentation for work or school, you're probably using methods to make your story quite compelling without even realising. Think of the best stories that you've watched or heard. Think of their body language, their facial expressions, or their tone of voice. Think of the best stories you've read, the way the plot unfolds, the relationship between characters, and the suspense. Although storytelling is often a bit dramatic, a lot of the same things transfer across to the working environment. Ultimately, it's a form of communication, and if you can find the best way to communicate your ideas or your journey, more people want to read it, listen to it, and be part of it. Another key part of storytelling is to be dynamic and making sure that it all flows. Imagine your story has a golden thread running throughout it. This means your audience can follow the plot easily and can clearly understand your key messages. It also means that you've considered how each piece of the story connects. It ultimately makes a more cohesive, well-rounded and robust story. This goes for almost any form of storytelling, whether that's a speech, an essay, a book, a report. The list is almost endless. When you consider your audience, you're taking a step back and looking at your work objectively. Doing this might help you find something that might not add up or whether there are gaps. This is generally good advice for any piece of work you produce anyway. So, storytelling is a way of capturing important information that can be learned from. It is our way of making sense of the world and creating something meaningful, relatable and memorable.
The online age that we live in, it's all about storytelling. People switch off now to marketing ads, very obvious marketing spiel. So it doesn't matter whether you're selling yourself, selling your product or service, selling your family business. Telling a story should be done with genuine intent. To tell a compelling story, you need to track them, keep them hooked each time. So you have to have an extremely eye-catching headline and take the best bits of the story and put them in first. Hook the reader, the listener, the audience, hook them. And once you've got them in, once they've watched the first 15 seconds, the chances are they'll all listen to the first 15 seconds, they'll continue to listen. But you only have a couple of seconds to keep their attention. So when you're storytelling, make it compelling, keep it clear, use a hook and break it beginning, middle, end, and maybe there's a suspense for the next story. And that's how you would tell a compelling story.
First rule, as of anything, is to practice, and practice a lot, because this is quite a difficult skill to master. The second rule is to think about a structure you can use so that you can have a compelling narrative to tell. There's something called the hero's journey, which is a useful structure to follow, and you can find out much more about online. The basic idea is that you have the beginning, middle and end of the story, where you as the hero face a challenge at the beginning, overcome adversity in the middle, and then emerge triumphant at the end. This means that you can thread any kind of story together, even if it's about shelf stacking or starting up a company which didn't work, but you always learn something at the end, you always have some kind of benefit from it, and that's where you can tell a compelling story and make it personal about what you've done.